So for tonight's homework, students are going to think about changing the addition model that we worked on the night before into multiplication. So we have to remember that multiplication is simply repeated addition. So in A, you can see that 1/3 plus 1/3 was repeated. So we keep the 1/3 here, and we see how many times it was repeated. Because it was repeated 2 times, the equivalent multiplication problem is 2 times 1/3. So your student is going to first have to figure out the portion shaded. So if we look here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the denominator is 4, the shaded parts is 3. We want to think of each part as worth one value. So each value is going to be, in this case, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So that would be the addition model, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. How many times did we multiply or add 1/4 is going to be our multiplier. So we see 1, 2, 3. So this is the same as 3 times 1/4. So go ahead and finish A, B, C, and D using that same process. First, determining the portion shaded. Remember that fractions work with part out of whole. So the part shaded is going to be the numerator. The parts the whole, one whole has been cut into, is going to be the denominator. On the back, we're going to do the same thing, but you'll notice that it's greater than 1. So we're still going to use the same denominator. We're going to, though, look and focus on the 1. So how many parts make up one whole? You can see that this denominator would be 3. But when we look at how many parts are shaded, we can see there's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 for a total of 4/3. So when we think about the problem and we think about the fraction, it's greater than 1 or 4/3. So then when we write the multiplication, we say how many times did we count 1/3? We counted it 4 times. So this is the multiplication problem for this. Go ahead and try part B. Down here, you're going to do the work of using the fraction to build the tape diagram. The tape diagram is just the squares like you saw above. So you start with one whole. In this case, we're breaking it into fifths. And then students see that that's the denominator. We would shade 3 of those. And we're thinking about what each part of this is worth. So each part is worth 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. We'd add all those up to get 3/5. We can think about the multiplication problem by counting how many times here we added. So we did 3 times 1/5. This is what your student should do. When you get down to D and E, remember that you're going to have an improper fraction, meaning that one whole, it's going to be greater than one whole. So if we look at D, we know that one whole has 5. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's one whole. But we know we're shading 8, so we'd shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 more. So this is the tape diagram. It's extended past one whole. And then we'd see how many times we did 1/5. Here we're up to 5/5, 6/5, 7/5, 8/5. So 8/5 is equal to 8 times 1/5.